Keep on going, not knowing what the point of it all is. Settle down, settle down, settle down, darling.
On the first day of Computex 2026, AMD dropped the Radeon RX 9070 GRE globally. I think they did that as a bit of a way to hide it in the tech press, knowing that we wouldn't talk about it, and it feels like absolutely nobody else is talking about it either. The hype was basically zero. And to be fair, what's there to be hyped about anyway? It's a complete ghost GPU. I'm not talking about this being a paper launch, guys, because you can go and buy this card. It just doesn't exist on people's radar at all. And look, the silence makes sense when you consider how bizarre this launch is as a whole. This card spent a whole year locked into the Chinese market, and now, out of nowhere, AMD decides to bring it to the rest of the world in the middle of what I'm calling a huge hardware drought. So we need to figure out, is the 9070 GRE the hidden gem we desperately need right now, or is AMD just dumping leftover silicon to make a quick buck? Let's find out. To truly understand why the 9070 GRE is being released outside of China over a year later, we have to talk about the absolute state of the hardware market right now. We're in a deep memory shortage. Well, I think it's more of an artificial shortage so companies can make a quick buck. But the bottom line is the AI gold rush means massive AI factories. Well, that's actually true. They call them AI factories for some reason. They're buying up every piece of high bandwidth memory and all of the logic wafers so they can make these AI factories. Because of this, everything that goes into your gaming PC or your desktop PC, especially memory, apparently costs an absolute fortune to manufacture. I'm not sold on that idea. Anyway, that's where this 9070 GRE supposedly steps in. It gives AMD a way to make their imperfect Navi 48 silicon that failed to make the cut and validation for the flagship models. They throw less VRAM on the board and they ship it out to save on production. That's why this card exists. It's purely an efficiency move for AMD, but what does that mean for us? Well, under the hood, the GRE uses the exact same Navi 48 architecture as the standard 9070, but it's heavily trimmed down. You get 48 compute units instead of the 56 compute units, but more importantly, you're only getting 12 gigs of GDDR6 memory on a narrower 192-bit bus compared to the 16 gigs and the 256-bit bus on the standard 9070. What does all of that mean for gaming? Because, I mean, that's why you guys are here. Well, we use our regular GPU test bench, but because of the pure oddity of this GPU and the timing, I didn't test it with Linux like we've been doing for the last 9 years.
Let's start off with Shadow of the Tomb Raider with the highest preset with no upscaling. First up at 1440p, the 9070 GRE is about 25% slower than the regular 9070, and around about 24% slower than the 5070. At 4K, the 9070 GRE is about 28% slower than the regular 9070 and around about 22% slower than the RTX 5070. That is again to do with that 192-bit wide memory bus. Onto Unigine superposition at 1440p custom with depth of field and motion blur disabled, we're seeing the 9070 GRE be about 25% slower than both the Radeon 9070 and the RTX 5070. At 4K optimized, the 9070 GRE is about 25% slower than both the 9070 and the 5070 once again. Over to Cyberpunk 2077 with the Ultra preset with no ray tracing using either DLSS or FSR. First off, with 1440p, the 9070 GRE is about 15% slower than the 9070 and around the same performance as the RTX 5070. At 4K, the 9070 GRE is about 3% slower than the RTX 5070 and around about 20% slower than the 9070 on average. The 4K results, again, are really to do with that 192-bit wide data bus. It really does have a massive impact on 4K performance. Finally, onto Call of Duty Black Ops 7. I include this because this is a game that I personally play. We're using the Ultra preset with either DLSS or FSR set to performance mode. At 1440p, the 9070 GRE is around about 11% faster than the RTX 5070 and around about 9% slower than the 9070 on average. At 4K, the 9070 GRE is around about 11% slower than the 5070 again, and around about 37% slower than the 9070 on average. Again, this is to do with that memory. Over all of these tests, we then calculate the average between everything with all of the cards to give you an idea of how the 9070 GRE compares at both 1440p and 4K to the rest of the cards tested here. Now, I gotta be honest here, at 1440p, the 9070 GRE is the slowest card in the field, and at 4K, that's the same deal. It's the slowest card that we tested. But that's not the whole story, because I wanted to share something really interesting with you. At the time of testing, I decided to play some Forza Horizon 6 because the game is ridiculously optimized, but I only wanted to see what the 9070 GRE performance was like. And here's what I found. At 1440p extreme with ray tracing turned on to low, which is basically everything maxed out with ray tracing just turned on, the game averaged around about 61 frames per second, albeit with FSR 4.1 turned on. If we turn ray tracing off at 1440p Ultra, we saw an average frame rate of 94 frames per second. Keeping in mind that this benchmark that's built into the game is the worst case scenario, and I'd say that that performance overall is pretty good. But when you play the game normally with those exact settings, I saw an average frame rate of closer to 110 FPS, again with the exact same settings. So, give it with one hand, take it away with another. The performance here isn't great overall, but for a game that's optimized well, the card is actually not too terrible at 1440p.
The 9070 GRE appears to be a highly capable 1440p card. It pushes solid frame rates in heavy rasterization and handles ray tracing better than you'd expect thanks to the RDNA4 architecture. You can crank settings in titles like Forza Horizon 6, albeit that's a really, really optimized game and almost guarantees you a great experience if that's the game you're playing. But that 12 gigs of memory is the massive elephant in the room. At resolutions higher than 1440p or in aggressively ray traced games, for some reason I don't know why you'd want to do ray tracing on this card, the reduced memory bandwidth, it crashes into a wall. That's a Forza reference if you didn't get it. The frame pacing suffers quite a bit, and it becomes a real issue if you push this card a little bit too far. And it's noticeably a step down from a base line, bottom of the barrel 9070. All right, there's that. But let's talk about the pricing, because that's where the math don't be mathin' and where it completely falls apart. The 9070 GRE has an MSRP of $549 or around about 849 Aussie dollar dues. But wait, isn't the standard 9070 $549? Yeah, it is, if you look at the pricing on paper, because AMD expects you to pay the exact same MSRP for 4 gigs less VRAM and roughly 15 to 20% less overall performance. But here's the kicker. We don't live on paper. We live in an absolutely destroyed and broken market because of the, let's call it the memory shortage. A standard RX 9070 is currently selling on the street for about $600, which translates to around about 850 to 950 Aussie dollars locally. Nvidia's RTX 5070 shares the same MSRP, but good luck finding that for less than $650 or about 900 to 1,000 Aussie dollars here in Australia. Down the stack, the RX 9060 XT, 16 gigs of memory, sits around $350 or around about 550 AUD, but it lacks the core horsepower to drive the high refresh rates at 1440p. The 9070 GRE sits right in the middle of a massive canyon, right in the middle, right? But at $549, it feels like an awkward compromise. If AMD priced this at, let's say, $479, it would dominate the mid-range market. But at its current price, it leaves a bad taste in your mouth. And I suspect that's the reason why nobody's talking about the 9070 GRE. The real question is, though, is the 9070 GRE worth your hard-earned money in this insane time for tech? Look, here's the harsh reality. If the market was healthy, nah, I wouldn't do it. Absolutely not. paying the full price for a cut down 12 gig card when the superior 16 gig 9070 has the exact same MSRP, it's a terrible deal. Imagine, let's give you an interesting analogy. Imagine going to a drive-through and ordering a double cheeseburger. You pay full price for the burger. You drive up to the window and they hand you a bag with a burger inside it that has a single patty. And when you point out that half your food's missing, the worker just says, hey, well, you know what, Nick? There's a global beef shortage and the guy behind you is paying double for a proper burger. So just be happy with what you got. And that's exactly how this card feels to me. But at the end of the day, guys, context matters. And if you're building a PC today and your current GPU is dead for some reason, or you desperately need a 1440p upgrade and you just can't stretch your budget to the strange inflated prices of the 9070 or the RTX 5070, then I can't believe I'm saying this, the 9070 GRE is a pretty reliable performer. It's going to get the job done. Just know that you're paying a premium for the state of the market, not because the silicon on the board is bad. This is truly in the worst timeline ever for tech. This is ridiculous that this card exists in this way. Let me know what you guys think about this card. Is 12 gigs of VRAM enough in 2026, or is the asking price just too much? I already know your answer. If you liked the video, like it. If you didn't, also dislike it. Subscribe if you haven't already, and as always, I'm Nick. Thanks for watching.
I have a question.
What?
On this cheeseburger, is there a pickle?
I would prefer there to be a pickle.
Okay.
Yeah. Pickle, like, who doesn't put pickles on their burgers? Those people are weird, to be fair.